Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast overview as part of the research summit. As part of this audio podcast, as part of the research summit, this audio podcast as part of the Bravado Assembly, and this audio podcast overview as part of the underreported world remit, underreported world and remit. And this audio podcast overview as part of a Storm Robotics production. In this audio podcast, what I thought I'd do is, in amongst the audio podcasts that have been part of Storm Robotics Productions, and at least and as part of the Bravado Assembly sort of series from series 1 through 6, through series 1 through 6. What I thought I'd do here is just inform of an overview, a sort of an overview of the different different sort of aspects that are covered in as part of the and as part of the themes. And these the audio podcasts these audio podcasts as well, listeners and viewers, just to quickly also additionally inform that these audio podcasts are mainly on social media platforms, being on Facebook and on TikTok, on Facebook, social media, and on TikTok social media. There are other audio podcast series and works, but those are audio podcast series and works are not on do not form as part of the sort of research summit series, so to speak. Those audio podcasts can be accessed through social media such as SoundCloud, SoundCloud, YouTube, and through Instagram. So a little bit in as part of this overview, just in regard to the different series, as part of the research summit and Bravado Assembly, and audio podcast as part of the underreported world and remit. And this audio po- this sort of audio podcast, and as part of a sort of a generic overview of the topic, of the different sort of aspects of themes and works that are covered in as part of this Storm Robotics production. So in series one, public papers and publications and works that have been iterated, are works that look at the theme intercollaborative working, and the healthcare workforce. And the series looks at work surrounding the importance of collaborative working, understanding importance of integrated workforce, uh, understanding healthcare through professional differences, and then the importance of healthcare ethics and fairness for all. And then series two as part of the Bravado Assembly, and as part of the research summit, and as part of the this audio podcast series, as part of underreported world and remit and overview, as part of the Storm Robotics production. The series two looks at bridging real issues in healthcare and applying protocol excellence. And works looks at works looks at works looks at or the theme of works looks at publications iterated in regard to compassion through healthcare, ensuring healthcare inclusivity, diversity in healthcare, and race evaluation in kidney care. And then in series three, I look at the theme in around striving for international unity across healthcare community, and looking at themes, looking at the series, a series wherein the series looks at work surrounding healthcare and the war you don't see, healthcare, let's be upfront about it, healthcare and pediatrics and young people, and then healthcare and young perspective. And then series four as part of this research summit and this Bravado assembly and underreported world and remit and this and this and this and this and in around the in series in this part of series four as part of a Storm Robotics production looks at bringing together compassion and closing the doors on disparities in healthcare, and looking at healthcare, looking at works and published works in regard to healthcare professions, looking at transplantation and transplant attitudes, looking at knowing challenges, uh, knowing challenges, and then looking at works in as part of this theme, bringing together compassion and closing the doors on disparities in healthcare, looking at kidney care for all. And then in series five looks at the theme healthcare through wellness and well-being. The works series looks at work surrounding healthcare through healthcare. Sorry, looks at publications in as part of physical activity to combat end-stage renal disease, keeping health and well-being core practice, exploration of nutritional intake and chronic kidney disease or CKD, and then physical activity for persons transitioning to kidney replacement therapies. And then finally in series six, as part of this, as part of this, as part of the research summit, and as part of the Bravado Assembly and underreported world and remit, and as part of the Storm Robotics production. Series 6 will look at the theme bridging together peace and humanity through healthcare, and the series looks at work surrounding the series looks at works surrounding healthcare through peace and humanity, patient-centric care through BAME perspective, understanding security and well-being in healthcare and racism, and then finally being aware of healthcare and surroundings. So that is the theme, the sort of different the six different themes, in around this works in around this in around the sort of the theme of works as part of this research summit, as part of the research summit series, and as this audio podcast will be online again on the applicable Storm Robotics social media. Feel free to listeners and viewers, feel free to check out the synopsis as well. The synopsis as part of this research works now, as part of this research summit. Sorry. So while this is an overview, a sort of an overview, there is a synopsis, and then for example on Facebook and TikTok, the different series of works are sort of in online, and can be identified in online quite easily, where all of, for example, for example, all of series one can be seen as seen where all the audio podcasts are as part of series one, and series two are where all audio podcasts as part of series two, and whereas series three audio podcasts are all part of series three, and in regard to series four through six, and so the audio podcasts are accessible on those social media platforms as per mentioned, and there are citations or references wherein listeners and viewers are welcome to put in the information, some of the information from the references or citations into search engines such as PubMed or Medline or EBSCOhost database, for example, to identify further works. Some of the publications themselves at the same time may well be accessible through a simple Google search as well, to identify either the abstract of the publication or the full publication itself. So that draws this overview to a close. Do check out those works, and this audio podcast is there for is there. So discussions can be had, and sort of interactions can be had in amongst and then across various industries. So for example, in amongst healthcare, in amongst the arts, in amongst various other industries, so that again, where the basis is to ultimately see sort of collectively a better world. That draws this audio podcast overview to a close. This audio podcast as part of a research summit. This audio podcast is part of a Bravado assembly. This audio podcast is part of an underreported world and remit. And this audio podcast as part of a Storm Logistics production. Thank you.